Now, what if there was a way to test your own judgment and critical thinking about how you might respond during a church safety and security incident? And then what about if you are a church leader? How can you test how your team might respond when you are not there? What is their critical thinking like? What is their decision making like? What is their judgment like? Now, around 2 years ago, one of my clients, Josh Early from Riverside Church, me and him were meeting. He said, Simon, I wonder if there is a way where I could either do some popcorn style questions to my team to make sure that when I'm not there, they are doing what I want them to do, and also a way to make sure that I'm giving them the skills to be successful. And for whatever reason, the Lord put it on my heart. And I said, Josh, I said, if I made a deck of scenarios, would that help you? He said, Simon, he said that would help immensely, because before the service, I could just pick a card, ask them a question, and then we could work through the answer. And that was really how decision decks were born. So you are seeing the Mark 1 version of the church safety team, which are critical thinking, judgment, and decision-making church safety and security scenarios. And in that time, we now have 6 separate decks. So we've got a deck that focuses on threat assessment. So all the cards in here, there's 60 scenarios in each deck. This deck is focused on behaviors that may indicate that a person is on a pathway to violence. This is the threat assessment deck. Next, we have the medical response deck. And again, each deck has 60 scenarios. There is scenarios around cardiac arrest, around stroke, around bee stings, around allergies. And it's all about how would you respond. Each card, it doesn't give the answer. I want to say this because people leave reviews on Amazon saying, well, Simon didn't give us the answer. There's so many different answers. It poses you the question, and you have to articulate how would you respond. If you don't know the answer, you have to go away and research. If you've got a gap in your process, you need to go and write it. The next one is our suspicious behavior deck. Again, it's 60 scenarios all around church safety and security, suspicious behavior. How are you going to respond? Some challenging questions in there. The crisis intervention deck. Now, this is a deck really for church leaders. This is very challenging as to how are they going to minister people in crisis, but also looking at it from a safety and security lens about mandatory reporting. So you can use this as a church safety team leader or church volunteer, but this is a great deck to buy your pass and say, I believe this is going to offer value. The best-selling deck is the conflict de-escalation. There are some challenging questions in here. Now, my good friend, Carl Chin, that many of you know from the Faith-Based Security Network, around 6-7 months ago, he said, Simon, can you come on to our FBSN Saturday morning coffee shop that we have? And can you talk about the decision decks? And can you answer a few scenarios as to what would you do? And I said, Carl, not only will I come on, but I said, you give me what you think are the hardest questions in these decks, and I will answer them. And one of it, well, there's a couple of examples in here, but the question they got me to answer was a transgender question, a transgender in a bathroom. How are you going to respond? So many of these scenarios, if you can think about them in advance, as the Marines say, the body cannot go where the mind hasn't been. The body cannot go where the mind hasn't been. If you think about these scenarios, if you're in there in real life, you're going to have your Rolodex, you're going to have something to refer back to. And then the last deck is a multifunction of all the decks put together, which is a safety team deck. So between the 6 decks, there are 360 scenarios, 360 scenarios, real life scenarios that I've collected over the years, that people have given stories to, that are going to help and bless your memory, your ministry. if you went through these cards and read them and formulated an answer, there are not many things that you couldn't do. However, I'm going to be very transparent. Between all those decks, it's also going to find many gaps and holes within your program, but that is okay. I did a training on emergency management only 2 days ago to a group of business administrators, and I said, you are never done here. This is the start of your journey. There is no end state in safety and security. However, these decks will allow you to find gaps in your program. Some cool ways that people have been using these. They do them one-on-one. So they could take out one of the scenarios and ask someone on the safety team, how would you respond? They also use them to put a little bit of pressure on the person, and they'll do it in a group settings. They might have their safety team together before the worship starts, and they'll ask, hey, Simon, you answer this. And then Simon has the pressure because everyone's looking and saying, well, how's Simon going to respond? Oh, it's my turn next. What card am I going to get? I also had someone reach out with a really cool way that they said that, hey, Simon, I take a card from your deck, and when someone wants to join the safety team, I show everyone the same card to be fair, but I then use your cards to see, well, where is their mindset in relation to safety and security? Because one of the things you have to put in all these decks as well, you've got to put the ministry aspect into it. There's a response, but how do you respond knowing that security is ministry? So some really cool ways, one-on-one, as a group. People are using them during interviews, and they're using them during staff meetings to pick a card and saying, hey, Simon, here's a question for you, and raise discussions within their team. So some really, really cool ways. I know they're going to bless your ministry. I love hearing how people are using them, but I wanted to show you first off where you can get them from. So let's go to the screen here for a second. So you find them, let me go here. So you find them by going to decisiondex.com, decisiondex.com. If you go to the Worship Security Academy or Kingswood Security Consulting, my other 2 businesses, they will also lead you to Decision Dex. But you're going to go to decisiondex.com, talks a little bit about why Decision Dex. You'll see all the cards there that are available. You can click through. The only place to buy these is on Amazon. So at the very top of the website, if you hit the shop key, it'll take you straight through to Amazon. If you're watching this video, you already own some of the decks. Would love for you to go in and give us a 5-star written review if you feel the cards are offering value like they do with everyone else. But that is where you will find them. You're going to go to decisiondex.com. There is, like I said, 6 different versions. You can go to shop, select them. What we're about to release on Amazon, it's not yet out, but there is going to be a box set with all 6 different decks. But for now, you can just go to Amazon and buy them individually. But just wanted to talk about the decision decks because I know a lot of people ask about them. That's how the idea came about. A client, Josh Early, posed the question. The Lord gave me the vision, and now we've got 6 decks. There's a few others that are in the pipeline, but I don't want to confuse you anymore because there's already 6 out there. You're going to find a lot of learning just from those 6. So would encourage you to visit decisiondex.com, pick up a deck of those cards, see how they bless your ministry, and then please give me feedback by even a 5-star written review on Amazon or reaching out. So for now, you stay safe, you have a blessed day, you enjoy going through the different decision decks that we have, and I shall see you next time. Take care, everybody.